Welcome to the Love and Victory Show with Val, where we will bring you candid conversation. In each conversation, we will talk about real life ups and downs while tackling unresolved matters. We will also unmask issues and truly speak straightforward and candid about our needs and brokenness, while allowing ourselves to exhale so that we can become victorious. This is a place where you can be open to the possibilities of living life in abundance while gaining tools to become bold and complete. So let's get to it. We are back. Are y'all ready for this conversation? It was a conversation going on behind the scenes, and of course, the energy is high now because Brother Carter had us over here almost doing jumping. He told we need jumping jacks or something. No, but he
pick up the energy. That was me. I said,
yes.
Oh, that was you. Okay, facts.
I said I will not be doing that. Oh. But facts. Sometimes you just need a little liquid courage. Maybe that's all we need.
Well, I do want to get this conversation going, but before we go into not defined by my past, I'm going to ask Brother Carter to introduce the guest.
Introduce?
Yes. That's what you do, Brother Carter.
Sometimes you act like you've never been on this show before. Like we don't do the same thing.
Is he brand new?
I mean,
he's acting brand new.
What you do, Brother Carter?
I mean,
if
there's no introduction for JB Connection. JB and JB is here today. And so since we have both male and female JB here today, ladies always first. Oh. So in your own unique way, introduce yourself.
And there's again. That was good.
Thank you, Brother Carter.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yes.
I am one of your 100,000 subscribers.
There you go.
And so tell the people they right there looking at you.
The billions and billions?
Hundreds and billions.
Hundreds and billions.
Yes, hundreds and billions. We pass millions.
Oh.
Yeah, we go from hundreds
to billions.
To billions.
That's a big leap.
Yeah.
My name is Jennifer Barnes. I am a frequent visitor to the Love and Victory Show.
Amen.
And I love it every time.
All right.
I have a lot to say.
And we love having
Are you shy?
I can be, actually. I know that's surprising.
No.
Well, I told you before, I was surprised at how much I liked coming here. The first time I came here, I thought I was sweating, nervous. What am I going to say?
Okay.
I love it, though.
And then you got comfortable, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who else are you?
I am also, look at you. Speaking of,
come on.
I am also the biological mother of Abigail. her actual mother would be Val.
Right.
I just did the birthing. She is kind of my mini me, but a little more outspoken.
Good. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
Happy to have you once more and again.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
All right. And now to the male version of JB. Introduce yourself in your own unique way there, JB. You have a little rap tune for us or what this morning?
I need to get back in the groove on that. I miss doing my raps. It's a lot of fun.
I'm really feeling some kind of way. Don't get.
All right. I will make sure I have one for the next show. I'll be ready.
Okay, thank you.
You coming to the live, right?
Absolutely. I've got my rap ready for that one. I've got a off the chains rap ready for that one.
All righty then.
But
give JB a little more volume, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got to be able to hear the JBL.
Yeah, there
laying down the truth. So anyway, my name is Justin B. Long, and I am an author and a business owner and a person who's trying to be a better version of himself every day. And I am the longest running recurring guest on the Love and Victory Show.
That part.
I don't know if I've been here more times than anybody else, but that's what I tell people.
Yeah.
We're in the Trump era. Facts don't matter anymore. So I just
wow.
Well, we love you, JB, and welcome to the show.
All right.
Fun fact, I'm JLB.
Okay, fun fact.
He's JBL.
Well, now it's time for In the Loop, and we're going to get this show popping.
So for In the Loop, I have a quick video for you guys because we have a new announcement to make about a new collaboration that we have. That I'm super excited about for our nonprofit. So stay tuned. We're going to play a quick video.
Come on.
L&B Enterprise Resources Inc. started off from just a little small something to help my son out. And God answered my prayers and he said, why don't you help someone else while I help you? And so LNV Enterprise came out of that.
There's an alignment with our values, and I think it's a heartfelt thing, and it's just a vision that y'all have for what y'all are wanting to do, and we're in that same vision and mindset, and I think it'll be a great partnership.
Well, I'm really excited about this new partnership with Tumble 22. They really are in line at Tumble 22, in line with our brand, caring and giving back to the community.
Tumble 22 is special because we started out as a food truck, actually. And a chef, inspired chicken recipe came about, and he wanted to find out what the best breading was to make that perfect crisp on the chicken. And he finally, discovered that tumbling the chicken 22 times is what, would make that perfect breading.
The food is delicious. It is so good. Everything is fresh. It's all prepared that day, down to the desserts. And so your food is good. It's delicious. And y'all know, girl, y'all know me. A little cocktail is not bad to have every now and again.
Your face.
Yes, so that's a huge collaboration. I'm so excited. They are partnering with our nonprofit, and they have 3 restaurants here in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so that's major. And again, Tumble 22, check them out.
Yeah.
And we'll have more. We have some things in the works. We're
Yeah.
still finalizing some stuff.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do a be on the lookout for a dine and donate.
Yes.
Mm.
For
Mhm.
our toy drive. You'll be able to go there, eat some good food, and some of those proceeds will come back to us.
Yeah.
We're also, y'all know we had to postpone our last on the road.
Mhm.
We had to figure out some venue situations. And so our new on the road is going to be next year at Tumble 22. The dates will be released soon. Justin, you'll be in the loop on that.
All right. All right.
He's
All
going to
right.
be a special guest
And
with
it's
us.
right before rodeo, so the theme will be rodeo.
LB with Val on the rodeo.
Rodeo. All right.
It's going to be.
I'm already shopping.
It's one thing I want to say about that restaurant over there. Val brought home a pie. Lord have mercy. I nearly ate half the whole damn pie. It was that good.
Yes, yes.
It was really, really good.
I had to.
I couldn't stop eating it.
I had to take it. It was the key lime.
Mm.
I had to take it away from him.
I told her, get this damn
That's
pie away from me.
It was so
The
good.
food is really good. You can tell
It
it's
looks good.
fresh. I will say their sandwiches are big. They have a mini sandwich. They can make any of their flavored sandwiches in a mini version.
Yes.
But you have to ask for it. Their chicken's fresh. So you can get it spicy or not spicy. They have good sides. I'm not just saying that.
Okay, let's
It's
move
good.
on. You
No,
fine.
she ate there twice.
I did.
Yeah.
I've been there twice.
She did not
the
bring
same
it.
day.
And before we move on, just because we do have those sponsors there, that doesn't mean we don't need your support as
Yes,
well. So
please.
please continue to
Pour into support
Yeah.
and be a
your
part.
generous contributions are welcome.
Because literally, with your support and all of this support is helping us to change lives, and that's what we're all about over
Yeah.
here, is changing people's lives and their situations. So please
Yes.
donate.
Yeah. And so while we're on in the loop as well, we of course have our bowling and brunch coming up. That's another way that you guys can contribute to our cause. You can get your tickets by scanning the QR code there. We still have tickets available. Get a team together. A team is 6 people. So if you have 3 couples, make it a triple date.
Yeah.
And you guys can be on a team together. We're going to have prizes for you guys. It's a really, really fun time. So get your tickets because you are making a donation.
Do we have a deadline for that?
Well, actually, we could
Till we sell out?
Till we sell out. We're almost there. So please get your tickets, and it is next
Sunday.
next Sunday. Yes.
So we don't have much
Oh,
time
that's
for that.
next
That's next Sunday. We don't have time. So get your tickets now.
And then, of course, this is all to fund our holiday toy drive.
Yes.
So if you're unable to come, we totally understand. You can make a donation here by scanning the QR code.
Pull that
Amen.
down so they can get to it. It's a thing in front of. There it is. It's fine. Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And we can't wait to see you at our bowling and brunch event.
All right.
Now, woo!
Yes.
Next, we have our acronym of the day. So, as you guys know, the acronym is going to set the tone for today's conversation,
Mhm.
give us something to go off of. And today's word of the day is mistake.
Mhm.
And I talked about this a little bit in my Cut the Crap, and I don't even think I meant to do that. But Mistakes make us who we are, unfortunately, but you don't have to be defined by your past. So M is malcontent, dissatisfied, and rebellious, often expressing discontent or unhappiness. I is for industrious, hardworking and diligent in one's endeavors. S is for stubborn,
A lot of people,
including myself, unwilling to change one's opinion or course of action, often to an unreasonable extent. T is for trusting, a tendency to believe others except at face value. A is for arrogant, having an exaggerated sense of self-importance and superiority. K is for kaput.
Kaput? What the hell is a kaput?
It's all kaput. It's over. It's over. Defeated, destroyed. And then E is for encouraging, giving someone confidence, giving hope for future success.
All right.
Yes.
So that being said, it is time to talk about not being defined by our past.
And so
as you say in the acronym, being defined by your mistakes.
Mistakes. Exactly.
I'm going to throw that out and we're going to get this conversation going. So I want to start with Justin. And I know I call on my brother a lot because he's so profound and he's so just transparent. And I'm going to ask you, was there one mistake that you had that you were completely embarrassed, but you know that when you owned it, it changed you?
Whew.
You wasn't expecting that one. I threw you a hole. You got this.
Well, narrowing it down to just one, I've made so many mistakes.
But one that was so impactful, but when you owned it, it really it shifted your whole being and your thought process and how you start to live. That changed you.
Yeah, I think that that probably happened for me when I decided that I had to do something about my drinking. That I spent all of my 20s really blaming my circumstances for everything that was going on in my life. And that was based on my insecurities, because I felt like if I admitted that there was something wrong with me, then that means everything's wrong with me and I have no value, and that just confirms all of my negative self-beliefs. And so I didn't own anything if I could shift it onto somebody else. But when I finally got to the breaking point where something had to change in my life, and I acknowledged that, I've been doing a lot of things wrong. Not even just specific things, but just acknowledging to myself and then to someone else that I am not perfect and I've got a lot of flaws. The world didn't end. Like all of my worst fears about what might happen if someone else realizes that I'm not perfect. Like, it never occurred to me that everybody around me knows that I'm not perfect.
Exactly.
But I never thought about it that way, right? And I think that first sitting down with another person and talking about my drinking problem and how that is manifesting in my life and the things that I'm doing, and being unfaithful to my wife and the way that makes me feel, and carrying around this shame all the time. And all those things were connected to my insecurities, but I didn't understand that at that point. I just knew that when I drink, I do bad things and I act out and something's wrong, and it hasn't gone away. It's just getting worse. And acknowledging that to another person and then surviving that and realizing that, I actually feel better getting that off my chest.
Yes.
And that gives me an opportunity to do something about it. Right? Like, that was life altering. That changed everything for me.
Wow.
And the reason I brought that up to you, because you said I heard you say it a while back. It starts with you having a conversation, getting it out. You may not know how to process it, but the fact that you actually say, this is something that I know is hindering me, that's hurting me, that I need to change, just saying it. So thank you for being transparent there. I'm going to turn that over to Jennifer now, the other JB. What is your...
Well, isn't there a saying about it's everybody makes mistakes, but it's turning them into lessons, right? But my mistake? Whew,
That's personal.
whew, that's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Just one.
There's a lot. Oh, well,
One that-
I mean,
that defined and shifts you that you had to you shift
I'm not sure
from?
I call it it's just like a mistake of my entire, like my way of thinking most of my life was that I'm a giver, which I enjoy, you know.
Yeah.
But I thought that made me a good person. And so and I couldn't understand why there were people in my life that were takers.
I'm glad you said that, because I was getting ready to say you had a lot of takers in your life.
And I was attracting takers and then would feel victimized because they just took and then left when there was nothing left to take. And I'm like, but I'm a good person. I'm not saying I'm a bad person.
Right.
But being a giver didn't make me a good person.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so I had to reevaluate that.
And where that was coming
still be a giver.
Yes.
But I have to,
What's
give
your
to number one first.
What's your reason behind the giving?
Right.
I was going to say that too, because you have to know your why and be intentional too, right? If you're giving because I do think there's a natural balance to the world. People who give a lot do receive a lot. I do think that happens, but it's always not going to be in the way that you want it to, or that you may even be expecting. So you have to be mindful that you're doing the things with intention, not because you want it to come back around to you. You can hope, you can pray that it'll come back around to you. But for instance, if someone asks to borrow money, I'm going to assume you're not going to give that money back. So I'm not going to give you all the money I have in the bank.
Not something you can't do without.
Something that, if someone asks me for something, it's something I'm okay with not getting back. It's going to be an amount that I'm like, I can live without this. I'll be fine.
But I see you as a taker.
But I'm doing that from the perspective of I'm doing this just because I want to give, not because I want something in return.
100%.
And so I do think it's important just to understand why you're doing it.
Right. It's not always material, right?
Yeah.
Giving love, giving trust, giving whatever,
whatever.
all the things, giving grace, giving a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance, all these things.
And the why comes with that.
And you do these things willingly, not expecting anything in return.
Right.
But then you reach a point when you're like, wait, I'm actually getting less and less and less and nothing in return. It's not about material. It's not about buying me gifts. It's about,
At the end of the day, giving should be a freelance thing. It should come from a pure heart.
For sure.
Should not come from a grudging heart.
Or with an
the expectations behind it.
It shouldn't. But when you got to wake up and realize when you're not getting anything in return.
Yeah, but you don't
can't
want to
just
be
continue.
foolish in your giving.
Right, exactly.
You're being taken advantage of at that point.
I'm going to turn that same question to Brother Carter. If you could you answer that?
No, I can't. Let me give me an example of what you're talking about, because I don't understand the question.
I can go if you need me to.
Yes.
JB, you see what I'm talking about? You're not in studio. You already knew he was going to do that to me. Go ahead, Abigail.
Well, she doesn't make a lot of mistakes because, like I said earlier, she's perfect or close to it.
Okay.
But
Mini-me.
obviously, I'm kidding. But there have been mistakes in the past, kind of like what my mom said. I've just let people get too close to me. And I wouldn't even necessarily say that I gave too much or whatever, but I let people, I've been too trusting before, where I trust that maybe someone has my back or someone has my best interest at heart, or that they would defend me in a group of people attacking me. And I've learned my lesson with that you have to really take time to vet people out before you let them in your real close personal circle. There are plenty of people that, I'm friendly with. We chit chat, we gossip, we spill the tea, we may go get coffee, we may go to lunch or whatever. But there's only a handful of people that I really let dig deep and close to me and let them impact me, because you've made mistakes. You've been I've been burned by people before.
And you don't want to be, you don't want that used against you.
Right.
And so
she's very good for a young lady of learning the lessons.
Yeah.
She really has. And I mean, she's the one who's told me over and over, not everybody thinks like you.
Right.
Not everybody's going to do the right thing or whatever, and this is my daughter telling this.
Well, I'm going to say, for me, I'm going to put myself out there. I think when there was something that happened in my life that I knew I had to, it changed me when I owned it. And it was literally back to the giving thing, because I was always trying to be this good person, because I always wanted to keep this smile on my parents' face. And so I wanted to always make sure that I was doing the right thing. And I was not even allowing myself to just live, to grow and to be. And so through doing the right thing, I felt like, okay, if I just give, if I just do this, if I just show up and do this for them.
When you say give, what do you mean? Like give them money? Or
well, give them, it could be money. It could
time,
be
attention,
time. It could
energy.
be attention. It can be just showing up to support them, even at the detriment of me knowing that it's not something I really wanted to do. But I felt the need. If I didn't do it, then I'm going to look like this bad person. So for me, it's owning that I was doing it for the wrong reasons. And when I stop feeling the need to have to pour into other people and pour more into myself, it came natural. So now what I do is when I give, when I show up, if I show up somewhere, it's where I want to be. If I'm giving, if I'm giving, it's because I truly mean it and want to impact. And there's no selfish gain that I'm looking for. There is nothing that I'm looking for you to come back and pour back into me. So that was my thing that changed my life for me and how I looked at things.
And Stephanie made a good comment. She said the biggest mistake isn't making one, it's not learning from it.
Right.
And I think like when you first asked that question, I obviously, jumped in to answer it, but I don't really look at a lot of things as mistakes. I look at them as like things that led me to, like, I really do think that we have a path set out in our life and like we have to check certain boxes and go through certain things to get there. If I think about where I was 2 years ago, I may regret a certain I don't regret things. I may look at a certain situation and be like, that maybe wasn't the best decision, or maybe shouldn't have done that. But then I think about, okay, well, that led to this, which led to this, which led to this, which got me to where I am now. And I'm going to make mistakes today. I'm going to make mistakes tomorrow.
Say it, girl, say it.
Yeah.
And there's no sense in just like groveling in that, you have to kind of get yourself out of it and know, okay. And that's where that self-accountability comes in. How did I contribute to the situation? I can say, okay, well, I shouldn't have let so-and-so in my life because they did me dirty.
It's easy to keep pointing at them.
But what did I do?
Why did I need to have this person in my life?
Why did I feel weak enough to have somebody in my life who took advantage of me?
There you go. Don't say anything else behind that. That is perfect.
I'll stop talking.
No.
Why did I allow this person to trigger me?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
I want to go to Diamond. And then guys, I want you guys, please put your comments. Thank you, Stephanie. I love you guys so much for being in, tuning in and giving me your feedback. Diamond, same question. You have anything to add? What was the one thing that you knew that happened that changed? Flick that light on.
My biggest problem is that I like to just go head first with things and just see what happens later on down the line. Like, I guess I'm just too receptive to people early on, like as in I'm a giver. And then I expect people to, since I'm giving or I'm being a good person, I expect people to return that same energy. But, everyone is not built like me. Everybody's not going to have the same mindset as me. So, my problem was not thinking things through. So now
I'm taking her. I'm keeping her.
Taking my time, getting to know people and see people for who they really are. And you can't get upset when you know people for who they are.
They are. Oh, wow. And that was from a young growing woman. So that's very good. That's wise. You want to take the time. So Brother Carter, back at you. You're not going to get out of that question.
No. Okay. Well,
it ain't on the list. Are you serious?
Brother Carter,
are you serious?
What's one mistake that you made that you feel shifted you as a person? Or something that you went through.
I'm gonna jump in for my brother. I feel like he's said this a lot on previous.
He got it.
No. Because I made more than one mistake in life.
I know that. Just choose one.
I feel ganged upon right now, so I really can't think right now. I can't think right now.
Okay. Okay.
Well, we're gonna.
All right, let's move on to the next.
We're gonna move on to the next one.
Feel pressured right here.
Yeah. How do you handle feeling embarrassed? How do you handle feeling embarrassed, or do you ever get embarrassed?
Yes, I feel embarrassed often.
Okay.
Especially when I mispronounce words, and Abigail remind me of that.
You have your own dictionary,
And
though.
so
She's embarrassing you when she does that?
it's embarrassing, yes.
Okay.
And I wish she would not do that anymore.
Oh.
Just let my word roll on down the
Okay.
street. Because
I
everybody
have
know
to
what I'm
agree.
saying.
Okay, I got you.
I
I
wish
gotta
everybody
say,
would focus on what
mistake.
just happened. Like what just happened right now is how you handle when people make you feel a certain way, and you communicate that to them, and you create change instead of just suffering, and it turns into a great big thing. 10 years down the road, you're fist fighting somebody about it.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
that was amazing. I just want to
I
point
just
that
gave
out.
you a lesson right there. Y'all didn't
you
even know it.
You did, but JB, if you could, real quick, repeat what you just said, because I don't think you came in loud and powerful as
I told
did.
you his voice is not coming through. I don't
Well,
know if we can turn him up. Can you turn your mic up?
I turned it up a little bit on my
There
end.
you
Does that
go.
help out?
There you go. There you go.
All
Okay.
right.
Give it to us, JB.
So Brother Carter has been enduring something on this show in front of thousands and billions of people for a long time
Yes.
that makes him uncomfortable. And when he didn't say anything about it, nobody knew. And so it just kept happening. And then when he says something about it, not in an attacking, violent way, but just pointing out, hey, when you do that, it makes me feel this way.
Yeah.
And now change can take place. Like Abigail's not trying to hurt Brother Carter. And
Right.
now that she knows that that's happening, she can change her behavior to make sure that she's taking care of his needs. Like that's how you
got that
that's how you
therapy
do
for
that.
free.
That was fantastic.
That really
I think that
was,
was an
and I
important
think-
moment.
I love that because, like you said, he said it in a way that one didn't even know it bothered. We just
Yeah.
thought you was therapizing. Yeah, so we're gonna keep it
That's
pushing
one
on down the
example.
street.
That's
What
one
about the
example.
made up? What about the made up words? That's embarrassing too. Or just
No, they're not made up.
therapizing.
They
No,
not-
they're real
I
words.
love that one.
It's hard to tell sometimes.
Did you hear what he said? They're not made up words.
That's real. Okay.
Stephanie,
My
please,
bad.
Stephanie, come in.
So Brother Curtis wants us to be delusional with it. Okay.
Got you. Just
In my mind is rolling out properly,
Uh-huh.
but when it come out,
basically he's just roll with whatever I say.
I do tend to do that though. Like if someone has an accent or something, I'll like imitate the accent because I think it's cute. So like if someone's talking to me with like a British accent, I'll give it back. I'm like, that might be rude. Maybe I don't need to do that.
And the good thing is that we know that it was never, he knows that it was never anything intentional, but he just expressed. And so again, I want to take
well,
that.
the platform gave me an opportunity. You know,
Right.
sometimes your opportunities come and you're
It
able to
presents
express
itself.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think what I love most about this platform is a safe place for everyone to be able to learn how to communicate, because it's all in your communication. If you never express that, then we would never know. So
That's right.
It's real good. I love that. So I'm going to come
So
back.
don't expect people to read your mind out there. You know, if you feel some kind of way about something that's embarrassing to you, express it.
Yeah. Real good. Okay, then. So I'm going to take that same question over to Jennifer. How do you handle feeling embarrassed?
I was trying to think of an answer. And I don't really know. I don't
question that
know. When do I get embarrassed?
Yeah, you don't.
I get embarrassed. Similar things when I'm called out for, like, if I were to mispronounce, publicly kind of deal, like where it's like, okay, you could have told me that quietly off to the side kind of thing. But
how do you handle it?
Yeah.
I usually don't say anything.
I used to cry.
I don't cry, but I usually don't. I'll clam up. I won't say anything. I'll be like, well, I'm not going to talk then.
Okay.
I get kind of like,
so you get defensive.
I do, and I'll like silent treatment type stuff. I'm like, oh well, I just
So you
won't
get
say anything to
passive
you.
aggressive.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then.
There you go. Thank you for verbalizing.
Right out.
Yeah, no.
You're defensive and passive aggressive.
Okay.
Great, cool.
She's
Bye.
absolutely correct. I'm like, thank you for giving words to my afflictment.
Well, the reason why I can say that, I can give those words, because that's exactly what I would do.
Yeah.
So it's power in just acknowledging that and saying it, because when someone is doing something, maybe they don't know that they're doing it, but that takes you inward. And so the only defense that you have is either become defensive if you're still in it, you haven't learned to work through that, or you're going to become passive aggressive. So I can understand that. All righty, JB. JB answered. Diamond, you have anything on that? How do you handle embarrassing feelings?
I haven't answered that one yet.
Oh, okay. Well, come on, JB. I like when you come for me. Give it to us. How do you handle it?
It's very different now than it used to be. When I was wildly insecure and I had no sense of value, then any sort of criticism or somebody even suggesting that I might be wrong about something cut me to the bone. And I did not react well to that at all. Like I'd be so ashamed of myself for the slightest little thing that nobody else cares about for 2 seconds. But as I have come to know who I am and become confident in who I am, I don't get embarrassed about things near as much as I used to. And I think it's probably much more appropriate things nowadays when it happens. But I've also learned not to take myself so serious and to know that if I make a mistake, whether it's real or perceived, like that, it doesn't reflect negatively on my value as a human being. It's that I made a mistake, right? And that's okay. It's okay for me to have been wrong about something, especially if I'm willing to listen to the argument and maybe change my behavior or change my mind about something, which I'm very willing to do now. When I was insecure, I couldn't change my mind about anything because that would be admitting that there's a flaw in me, and I couldn't do that. So I think the deeper things cut you, the more you need to look at why it's so important that no one sees your flaws.
Yeah. And as you get older, you don't put yourself in those compromised positions. You know, you don't just get drunk and take off all your clothes and start running down the street.
How you gonna know your brother?
Hopefully.
You gotta watch. You see how he did you? He changed your way. You know, how you gonna do your brother like that?
No, I'm just saying.
I've done it.
My JB.
I think the thing there too is if you like, nobody likes criticism and nobody likes their mistakes pointed out. And sometimes you have to do it, right? I think it's important to do it tactfully and in private.
Okay,
you know, if you're gonna.
With that being said,
I was gonna say
go ahead.
I was just gonna say that, you know, I don't think I let people make me feel embarrassed anymore. If someone tries, I play dumb. Like I act like I don't know what they were just talking about. Like, oh, what do you mean? Okay, girl. Like I make it seem like I twist it around and make it seem like whatever they said is like is not a big deal. Like you're doing too much.
But how are you feeling on the inside?
That's called gaslighting.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't really like let that. I get embarrassed by things that aren't caused by other people. Like for me, I get embarrassed if I like if I hang out with a bunch of friends because she's a yapper. She talks a lot. If y'all couldn't tell, I talk way too much. I always like leave social interactions feeling like embarrassed. Like, oh, did I talk too much? Did I like divulge too much information? Did I like make this person feel a certain way? Because I'm very like mindful of like, I don't want to, you know, come across the wrong way. Because I'm a very like silly person, you know, and I also know that that doesn't always translate well. So what I kind of do with that is I sit with it and I sit with the feeling of embarrassment. And then I kind of just have to move on because I can't undo what I did. You know what I'm saying? I can't undo the thing that I may have said or whatever. I try to like make sure that if I feel like I'm rubbed somebody the wrong way specifically, I'll reach out to them and say like,
okay,
hey, did I
was getting ready to ask that question. So if you sit back and you know that you've done it in your private moment by yourself, do you ever go back to the people that you know you may have done?
I try to judge am I overthinking or because I think sometimes we get in that headspace where I may be overthinking and reading into something that because like
it may not be
like Justin said, I'm not that important. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking like, oh, everyone hated when you said that, and meanwhile nobody remembers it. So I try to like really sit with it and like, okay, did anybody react negatively to this, or am I just overthinking because I felt like I shouldn't have said that?
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
And at the end of the day, you have to get over those embarrassing moments because they come off often.
They're gonna happen all the time.
Embarrassing moments show up all the time out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and the key is to try to just alleviate that thing as soon as possible.
Yeah,
because it will begin to affect you
before it gets brought to you too. Right. There was a situation with some friends where I did something and then someone else kind of brought it up to me as if like, oh, that was weird that you did that. And I was like, was it? And I truly didn't think it was I wasn't even insecure about it. I texted the person that it was who else was involved, not the person who came to me, but the other person. And I said, hey, I'm sorry if that was like weird. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. Like, my bad. And she was like,
She
oh,
didn't
you're
feel
fine. And
anything
she didn't
about
even notice it, So I think
because a lot of times we put more on ourselves, and we're not, we want to make ourselves be more than what we are. It's not that serious.
Yeah.
And so I know I left you out, Diamond. How do you handle embarrassing moments? And it's important. The reason I'm doing this, guys, and if you guys can put it in the comments, I really want to know. And there is someone that is struggling with, that's dealing with embarrassing situations and showing up and still trying to stay positive in a negative situation. I want to know how we deal with it. How do you deal with it?
Honestly, I haven't felt really embarrassing like recently, but really, I just really remember how I feel. Like I feel like on the inside, I feel like hot. Like I can feel my body temperature raising or something like that. You can feel. But in the moment, I really just take a step back, and then when I get time to myself, I just really reflect and see like, do I have a reason to be embarrassed, or why do I feel this way, or
So you do a lot of self-reflecting.
Yeah.
I think that's always a healthy balance, is to do some self-reflecting, because a lot of time, and don't get so caught up in it, because a lot of times sometimes it's more in our head space
Yes.
than anything.
I think it's important how when you're the person who could put, because we're also put in situations where you might make someone else feel embarrassed, right? Like, if someone has something in their teeth, or like maybe their zippers unzipped or whatever. If you're shouting across the room like, hey, your zipper's unzipped, that's not the way to do that, right? And so I always, like, in those situations, I try to like be like, hey girl, your zipper's unzipped. And then I'll be like, it happens to me all the time. Like I almost put myself in
that
it
situation
to show that like this happens to other people, rather than, I remember there was a time in high school and I was on the dance team, and I was like, we were taking a break or whatever. So I was like laying down on our gym floor, just like on my stomach or whatever. And there was a hole in my pants, so you could see my booty. You know what I'm saying? And my friend, who's supposed to be my good friend, and I'll never forget this, she like very loudly goes, you have a hole in your pants. I can see your whole butt. And like, she's like, I can see your butt crack. And I was like, girl, bring it down a notch.
But again, in that situation, that wasn't about you. That was about
she
her
would
making
be
herself
embarrassed
relevant
if her butt crack was showing.
Right.
Meanwhile, I was like, look at it then, girl, since you're staring.
I'm bringing it back because it was in those situations when people are throwing daggers like that, they're doing it intentionally to tear down who you are.
It's so obvious too.
And it's hurtful. And so I want us to all, the hundreds and billions, trillions of people that are listening, we need to be conscious of what and the why we are doing things to hurt other people.
Yeah, why?
Why? What do you gain out of pointing out someone else's flaws if there's nothing there, or to embarrass that person?
I think even when you do it quietly, you're going to be embarrassed in front of that person for a second, but then go, thank you for letting me know, before it's a bunch of people.
Right.
Yeah, it's about how you go about it. It's not you shouldn't try to publicly do it in front of other people. You should pull them to the side,
Yes.
And just recognize that like it's normal. We all have like little things, you know what I'm saying? Like we all have, like, no one's a perfect person except for me. And so
I want to ask this question, guys. Have you ever been faced with a situation where someone brought up your past in the attempt to embarrass you or make you feel bad? If so, how did you handle that situation? Something in your past that someone brought up in the attempt to embarrass you, and how did you handle that? Has that ever happened?
I'll go since you keep looking at me.
Yes.
Since someone's talking, I'll jump in.
Yes.
No, I have had people bring up my past that I may feel embarrassed. I don't think it was always their intention to make me feel embarrassed, though. Because I don't surround myself with people like that anymore, who are like, oh, remember when you did that stupid thing 5 years ago? I was like, yeah, girl, move on. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I have had, people bring up my past maybe behaviors, because I definitely, and we've talked a little bit about this on Tasteful and Toxic, she used to be a little toxic. I was a little crazy in my past relationships, and like, they're funny stories to tell. And I kind of tell them because they're funny, but then I kind of see people look at me differently afterwards. And I'm like, well, that was some crazy stuff I did 4 or 5 years, I'm not that person anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's taught me to be more like cautious and like how I bring up those stories. And like, I try when I do bring that up and tell maybe some embarrassing stories that are like, I can laugh at now because I'm not in that like headspace anymore. I try to make it very clear that like, I've grown a lot. Like this is definitely an older version.
It's okay if you can tell embarrassing stories about yourself.
Right.
That's one thing. It's a different thing if you telling embarrassing stories about someone else.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a whole different dynamic that take place right there. So
I think for me, it was when people would bring up, that's why I really I try to be very transparent with my children and my grandkids. I tell them everything. And the one reason why it's important for me to tell them my story, because I never want someone to come behind me and say, oh, you thought she was this? Do you know this? And for me, I'm not hurt when you bring up something that or who I was in the past, because who I was in the past is just what it was in the past. If I'm laying my past out here with hundreds and billions and million people, I'm not ashamed of it. So I'm sharing my story. I'm conscious of what I'm sharing, and I'm also conscious of how it can come off. But what I won't do anymore is allow people to put me in prison with what happened to me in the past. And so, if I can say anything to anybody, be okay with who you were. Work through that process, whatever that looks like. Whoever, get with a counselor, talk to someone.
Make some peace with that.
Yes, do not allow other people to hold you hostage to who you were, so that they can keep.
That ain't who I am today.
That's who I was. And because I've dealt with it, I've grown from it. So
at the end of the day, nobody want that closet door open with all the skeleton bones in it. I don't think not one of us alive want that door to be open at all.
Well,
I'll tell you though, when you open that door yourself and you just throw the bones out in the yard and stop worrying about it, then it doesn't have any power anymore.
And that's
no one has any armor against
you. That's exactly why I am that person. And I had to learn it because growing up, I don't know how many people that are listening was taught this and I know in our community, don't go outside telling my business. Don't talk my family. Keep our business on the inside. Don't talk about what goes on in the house. And so when you grew up with that unfortunate dysfunction, you also teach your children that same dysfunction. So you start to hide things. And so you're hiding stuff, but people see and they know what you went through. They know some of what you went through, but you're not telling your story. They're telling it from a distorted view. And so you need to make sure that you are being transparent, and that's in your own time.
And you don't have to be transparent to every single person you meet. You don't have to talk to everybody. So everybody don't deserve your story.
That becomes a defense mechanism, I think, too, when you just lay it all out there to anybody and everybody.
And that's why for me, it's important that my children and my grandkids and my husband, we're 100 with each other. And so I want them to always know that they have a safe place to come and have a conversation with me. So with that being said, I'm going to turn that to Jennifer. Have you been transparent with your daughter?
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yes. And when you become a parent, right, you can talk about your past. You can repeat the mistakes of your parents.
Yes.
Right. Who learned whatever they did from their parents.
Right.
Or you can say, well, I'm not going to do it that way because I did not enjoy that growing up. And then you're like, well, I'm doing all the right things. And then your 25-year-old daughter tells you all the mistakes you did make.
Exactly.
Which is maybe telling her too much. Okay. Which I love you. I mean, and it was kind of a moment like, well, shit. Like I tried so hard to be the best, most loving, this and that. And
you were the best, most loving.
But she called me out. Right. And said, sometimes the line is blurred between you're my best friend or you're my mother. And that is a fair statement.
Should have told her it's none of your damn business what I did. Just be happy your ass is here.
And I could have taken you out.
I think on that level, I think whenever you're being honest with your child, it's not about you trying to tell them too much, but also you're being transparent with them so that they can also, for me, they can relate that, hey, I'm going to be here. There is nothing you can go through.
I probably
See,
and-
y'all
and
more or
because-
less like sisters versus mother and daughter.
Oh, I think, and you know what? I hated.
Yeah.
I hated when people said
Yeah.
that about my mom. So she probably hates when people say that.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead.
I think it's also being honest doesn't mean giving everything. Like, and like, you know, I'm the type of person, I'm an oversharer. Diamond knows. We've been talking more, and I've been sharing way too much information. And so, there's a difference between being honest and just saying too much. And I think it's also honest to say, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, I'm feeling away right now, but I don't want to talk about that with you. I don't think it's appropriate or whatever.
that's
wait,
safe.
I'm calling her out.
Okay.
No, you are a bulldog, my friend.
I didn't say I did that. I said there was a difference.
If I said I don't want to talk about it, you'll follow me around.
We are not going to let mother
family
and daughter have a
therapy.
fight on the platform
family
of the
therapy right
Love and Victory Show with Val.
So you
What I
should
do-
have been a part.
Where do
you
I
should
pay
have
my
been
copay?
You should have been a part of us before she became this
Sassy
fool.
pants over
Yes,
here.
yes. There's some things went unchecked
Yeah.
a long time ago.
What I want to do right now before we're
some
at the
comments.
top of the show, let's go with these comments in here. Please, I see
Yes.
a lot of great comments. Let's
So
bring 'em in.
Solomon said, I embarrass myself all the time. I misspeak, trip over my feet, say the wrong thing. I try not to take myself too serious and learn from that fully.
All right, Solomon. Thanks for being honest with us. And
Yes.
with yourself. Mhm.
Lanita said, I don't get embarrassed anymore. I'm like, oh, I messed up. Next, my bad. Back
love
in the
her.
day, I would respond back ugly.
I love her.
Yes. Okay.
And
I
then we
love
have
her
one.
too. That's my oldest child.
Yeah.
I know.
She said, yes. And I say, you still thinking about that? I forget about that and walk off. It's normally somebody you don't associate with regularly just in passing. You see me now, though. That was in reference to when we were saying when someone brings up something embarrassing. It's like, girl, you're still on. Like, I switch it. I'm good at that too. Like, I switch it. Like, girl, you're still thinking about that? Okay, get a life.
Of that. Keep going. There was some
And
more.
at
in
some
there.
point, you have to stop holding on to things. You know,
Yes.
if you got something dragging you down the street day in and day out,
But you got to know about it. Like sometimes you don't know.
There is
oh, you know,
there is a
because it's
comment in
holding you
here
back.
from I think it's LAM Mom 9999. I think it's on there.
Our past
Yes.
Our past is the fire that now refines us into the diamonds we are now.
Yes.
Ooh.
All right, Liza, I hear you out there. All righty. I love you. Thank you for joining the show. All righty. We have any more over here we want to read?
Everyone's just kind of agreeing with us, saying exactly, those kinds of comments.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
Facts, all that. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
and even when it comes to like trying not to embarrass other people too, like, sometimes even the comments we read sometimes the wording may be off, and I try my best to like make it make sense because
Yes.
we have viewers from all over the world who may not know English or
The translation of what we're
exactly.
saying. Yes.
So I'm not going to sit here and be like, I don't know what they. Sometimes I
Yeah.
do. If it really, some people
But
do say some
can't-
stuff.
You
where I'm
can't
like,
help yourself because you're near perfect. So it's,
'cause I'm
kinda-
so
yeah.
yeah.
I want to bring this back, and I think Justin, I think it would be we would be
Trump said
shortchanged.
facts.
We will be shortchanging the guests if you didn't give us something profound with not being embarrassed about your past, but really leaning forward in your future.
All right. I think I'm going to stick with the drinking thing because that was when my whole life changed. So when I was 32, I quit drinking and tried to reinvent myself. And for the first couple of years, I still worked at the same place. I had the same people in my life. And I made a lot of changes in a short amount of time, but the people around me were still seeing me as I had always been.
Oh my God.
And, and I dealt with an awful lot of that. You were running around naked, stuff, which I did. And I can't deny that, but that was a different version of me. And early on that hurt me. It hurt me that people couldn't see my growth and my change and it was happening fast, and nobody keeps up with you in real time. Even the people you live with don't keep up with you in real time when you're on a growth trajectory, right? So it took me a while to stop worrying about what other people thought of me and who I was and just focus on working on myself. But then, after some time got in between who I am and who I was able to start categorizing myself. And you hear me reference 25-year-old Justin a lot. And that's one of the things that I do. I think of myself as 35-year-old Justin and 25-year-old Justin and 18-year-old Justin and 12-year-old Justin. And like all of those are different people. Justin that's turning 49 in a couple of weeks is a wildly different person than any of those other people. And all of those are a part of who I am and a part of how I got here, but none of them are who I am today. And yeah, we can talk about all the ridiculous nonsense that 25-year-old Justin did, because there's an awful lot of people that saw that. And that's okay, because that's what he had to do to deal with his trauma at that time. But the important part is that I am not 25-year-old Justin today. Yeah. I'm not exhibiting the same behaviors and doing all the same things that I did in 1999 that I'm doing in 2024, because that would be a travesty. If I'm the same person 5 years from now that I am today, that would be a travesty. The important thing is to give myself grace to have done the things that I did with the tools that I had at that time, and to try to acquire more tools and continue to grow into a better version of myself in the future.
Wow. And I think what I love most about what you just said is that I'm not that person. So please stop trying to make me be that person I've grown from. And that is about that those individuals that keep wanting to keep you in the past, in that person that you were.
That's because they're still living there.
They're still living in that. So when people are throwing shade and saying, oh, can you believe Justin used to be Justin was this? That's because they're still there. So I really love that you said that, because people that are sitting out there doing that and still trying to hold people back to who they were, get over yourself. Stop doing it, because get over yourself.
Cut the crap.
Cut the crap. And we have a comment from Stacy Lewis. Stacy said, when you got stalkers, though, they will all keep up with you in real time. Which is true. It's so caught up with, and you don't even pay this person any mind.
Yes.
And they're all up in your business, girl. That's embarrassing on you. Why are you so obsessed with me? I mean, I don't blame you, but the stalkers will stalk.
Well, and
I like the stalkers. So.
You like the stalkers?
Yeah. I'm gonna say this.
They have their place in life, so
they motivate.
They have their own lot in life. Yeah.
Who are you stalking?
People tell me about what I've been doing, where I've gone, I'm like, how did you know that?
I'm going to say this. It takes nothing to tell someone good job. It takes nothing to give a like. It takes nothing to encourage someone, because there is going to come a time that you're going to need it. But remember, what you put out there is what you're going to get back in your time of trying to evolve, trying to grow, trying to just make it through the day. You're going to wish that someone gave you what you're giving other people. So change your mindset, stalkers. All righty, final thought.
Don't call them stalkers. Give them another word.
Stacy had said.
No, I said give them another word. What's another word?
I like to call people a fan.
A busybody.
Fan club.
If they're
fan club president.
Okay, so they're fan club.
What did you say, Justin?
What'd you say, Justin?
I said the busybodies.
Busybodies.
What you call them, Brother Carter?
I call them the vicarious seekers.
Okay, vicarious. Okay, Brother Carter.
I like that.
Diamond, what do you call them?
They just stalk.
Okay.
Diamond's like, y'all are cute. They're stalkers.
We got a lot of people on the show. You may not see them come in. You may not see their name or nothing like that. We're not calling y'all stalkers.
But
no, they're fans.
We're not calling them
That's what
stalkers.
I'm saying.
I know we're not calling them stalkers, but what we are saying, you want to be a part of something great, then it's okay to just send a like.
I'm just giving a different perspective. Yeah. I don't want to have no Donald Trump syndrome of just degrading people that are viewing our show.
Right. Every week.
And
what makes them stalkers is when when they will deny that I don't got time for your show. That's cute that you have a show, right?
Yes.
And then they let something slip where you know they watch the show.
Right.
Because you talked about something and they repeat it and you're like, okay.
That's
And I'll be like, oh, you been watching the show.
You were.
You been listening to Brother Carter. Some people call me Brother Carter out of nowhere. And I'm like, oh.
But I'm not really talking, if you guys can give me a moment, I'm not really talking about the show. I'm talking about in people's lives in general.
Yeah.
If you made them your friend, whether on social media or if you seek to make them, you've accepted them as a friend request or whatever. Let's stop this thing of being, because I don't live for your validation. I don't.
Okay.
There was a time I did, but I don't. And so, but we have to stop because you never know what a person is going through. And we can start right here on this platform. It costs you nothing to encourage someone else. It costs you nothing to support someone that is doing something good. If they're looking good, I had a girlfriend that just turned 60. I'm in the 60 club now. And I was so proud of her. And she was out, and I'm not going to tell you where yet, but she was in Cakes and Kirkos and I didn't get invited. But anyway, and she was in her swimsuit. And she just put it all out there. And I absolutely love that. Lorraine, I am so proud of you. I love that you are good in your skin. You're enjoying life. And guess what? I've been all over your page, but I've been all over your page, liking, commenting, and saying enjoy. Let's stop.
You want to go put your bikini on and join?
Wait, I didn't tell you she had no bikini on. I'm just
bathing
saying.
suit, whatever you call it.
I'm just saying.
Is she single?
Lawrence, can you let me get it?
No, the question is she single?
Baby, stop.
Okay,
let me just say this.
You think you can do something like that? You got another thing coming.
You about to be single too.
That was the part of my that was adorable. That was not the part of my statement for that. The point of that is that
show love when you can.
No, let me say what my point is. The part of my comment there is, here's someone that is absolutely enjoying life, not worrying about what nobody else thinks. She's just enjoying her birthday. And I saw her so vibrant, so happy, just full of joy. How could you not want to be? I felt like I was enjoying the vacation with her. And I'm saying, stop, people. Stop it. It costs you nothing to show love. So let's give some love out there versus sitting back hating.
Yeah. I just feel like the haters, they're like the people who are obsessed, they stalk your profile, they know everything about you, but they cannot keep your name out of their mouth, right? And as a certified hater, I be hating sometimes too. I used to be that person that like,
honest.
I am honest. I've been a hater.
I love that.
There's people I don't like.
That's why you're growing.
That I can't keep their name out of my mouth either, but I'm working on that. But something that I've definitely.
So I don't get this. You don't like them, but you keep their name in your mouth.
Exactly.
People I don't like, I don't even mention them.
It's intense.
So that's why I'm like been trying to do more is like, if I really truly dislike someone, and I'll block them on social media or mute them at the very least, because I found myself being so wrapped up in like talking about this person all the time because I was reminded of it because I was looking at their page. And so when I took that factor out, I just got out of mind.
And guess what? They're not thinking about you.
They're not thinking about
You're
me.
getting them all this energy.
Suddenly, I'm not talking about them anymore.
All right, then. So final thoughts. Was that your final thought?
That's my final thought, yeah.
Okay, then. So I'm going to go to brother. Well, I'm just going to go to Jennifer. Any final thoughts? You want to look into the camera, tell the people a little bit about you. And, oh, God, we got some comments. Come on over here. I got to give Liza. What is she saying?
I had people spreading rumors because they remembered my struggle as a single mom and could not believe I was no longer struggling. I was now the boss in every facet of life with God's help.
Yes.
Amen.
I love you. And I can speak to that. You are truly the boss. I remember when, and I know now. So keep doing what you're doing, Liza. I love you so much.
I was married to a fireman.
Not just a fireman. He ain't just a fireman, honey. All right, then let's go. Final thought.
I think sometimes those things aren't obvious. Like with Justin, had a drinking problem and then whatever. So, and people are remembering that part of him, right? But sometimes it's hidden, right? Somebody can't bring up your past because they didn't really know what you were going through, right? They just know something's changed. And I don't know that I have skeletons, but for me, with the whole giving and this and that, I thought I just had bad luck with people. And I just, because I'm a good person, right? So I just have bad luck. And it really took me taking a time out and going back to my childhood and realizing that I give because I want someone to love me. And now what I'm doing is just like begging everybody to love me and show me love, right? That and then so now I'm attracting, and what do I do right away? I'm giving right away so that bad people, right? And then, but I get told, oh, your picker's broken.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to seek no more. You got love, right?
Don't make me cry now. But my point being, like, when I had to stop and think about it and figure myself out, no, you're not just unlucky. Like, what are you doing wrong? Because you can't possibly be this unlucky, girl.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now it's like, I will get told by the takers, oh, you're different now. Yeah. I liked you before.
Well, you are different.
Yeah, now. Because now I'm just like, oh, yeah, no, bye.
I've grown up.
I don't like you.
Okay. No. Final thoughts, Diamond?
What Justin said really stuck with me. When you're on a journey to grow and develop as a person, people try to keep you stuck for who you used to be. And the only thing I have to say is just because they can't see it doesn't mean it ain't happening.
Oh, facts. Drop that. Okay.
That needs.
I love it. Okay. Abigail, you gave your final thoughts.
Yeah, sure.
You're wrong.
Talk too much.
And Brother Carter, final thoughts for the people.
Oh, okay. Don't be defined by the 5-year-old person you were when you is now in your 20s and 30s. Like Justin was saying, you're going to evolve. You're not that same person. You're not going to make those same mistakes in life. So just get over yourself and just embrace who you are right now. And at the end of the day, love you.
All right. And my final thoughts are.
Has Justin done his?
Oh, that's right. Justin, have you? Yeah, he did yours. You did yours. Didn't you do yours, Justin?
Yeah.
Not really, but I had a strong finishing statement. So that's okay.
I thought he had done his already.
Okay, come on, Justin, give it to us.
Oh, well, I'll give you another one. Here we go.
There you go. Yeah, I thought he did too. Go ahead. Give us another one.
I'll try to keep it short. But just in terms of not being defined by my past, I am a product of poverty and child abuse and just the cycle of destructive behavior that happens inside those families, right? And so my trajectory was taking me, I should have become an alcoholic, and I did, but I should have had a family that I then abused and created traumatized children who grew up in poverty and just created that cycle, because that's how that works. But I managed to extricate myself from that. I got out of that arc and created a new identity and a new life. And it took me a lot of levels of going through some pain to get there. But I am completely removed from that character arc of who I should have been if I had just followed the cycle that my family laid out before me.
Right.
But I get to define who I am. I get to make changes as necessary to how I live and how I treat myself and how I treat other people. So my past might have launched me, but it does not get to define who I am today.
Come on now, drop the mic on that. Well, I want to say,
Justin B. Long right
Justin B. Long. I want to say, people, you are perfectly made. You are in the place that God wants you to be at right now, but you're not at the place that He intends for you to be at, to go forward. So don't allow your situation, don't allow other people, don't allow people to define you. Keep moving, keep believing in yourself, and keep smiling. Until next Saturday, we'll see you guys.
Right.
Bye. We're out of here.